The ground was fire. The sky was ash. Captain Darius Vale moved through the ruin like a man already dead. His armor was cracked, HUD flickering, rifle half melted from overuse. Around him the last human outpost on Vera 9 burned under alien bombardment. He could still hear the screams in his comms, cut off one by one until only static remained. He told himself to retreat, regroup, survive, but when he heard the child cry, something in him refused. He found her beneath the husk of a fallen transport, small, trembling, eyes too large for her face and glowing with a faint inner light. She wasn't human, not even close. Her skin shimmered like glass overrunning starlight. She clutched a pendant carved with symbols he couldn't read. When she looked at him, she didn't speak, but he felt her terror like a pulse in the air. Darius knelt, voice hoarse. "Easy, kid. I've got you." The child reached out and touched his gauntlet. It hummed as if recognizing her. The air shivered with the sound of blades igniting. Across the smoking square, 8 figures emerged, sleek, mirrored armor, faces hidden. Each carried a weapon like a strip of molten glass. They moved with ritual precision, fanning out to encircle him. A voice through an amplifier barked in an alien tongue. Darius didn't understand the words, but the meaning was clear: give up the child. He had no backup, no ammo worth counting, no way out. The smart thing was to run. The right thing was to stay. He glanced down. The child's tiny hand gripped his armor plate. Her silent plea said everything. Darius rose to his feet and raised the broken rifle. "You want her," he said. "You'll have to go through me." The first assassin moved like lightning. Darius fired, a single bolt taking the warrior in the shoulder, but another rushed him from the flank. Plasma cut through armor and flesh. Pain flashed white behind his eyes. He fought anyway. The next blade sank deep, another followed, then another. 8 in total, each one leaving fire in his veins. He hit the ground, still trying to swing his rifle like a club. The child screamed. It wasn't a sound, it was a surge of light. Energy poured from her body, a storm that shattered stone and burned away shadow. Through it all Darius tried to shield her, his arms locked around her small frame. He felt the blades vibrate inside him, fusing, glowing, whispering. Shapes moved in the edges of his fading vision, tall, luminous figures bowing, stars flaring open above. The world went silent. His heartbeat slowed to nothing. As darkness claimed him, he saw the child's face one last time, tears of light falling onto his armor. He thought of his crew, of Earth, of the absurdity of dying for someone not even human. Yet he smiled. Maybe that was the point. He tried to breathe and found peace instead. His final thought was a whisper against the void: 8 blades for a child. Worth it. Then everything ended, or began. Light. Endless, soundless, weightless light. Then breath, ragged, impossible. Darius opened his eyes to a sky of glass and stars burning behind it. He lay on something smooth, warm, alive. His armor was gone, replaced by fabric that shimmered with faint circuitry. The air tasted like metal and rain. For a long moment he just stared at his hands, scarred but steady, 8 thin lines glowing faintly along his chest like liquid fire trapped beneath skin. He should have been dead. Every nerve told him so. But his pulse was strong, his mind clear. Machines whispered in the walls, gentle as heartbeats. Then he heard movement, 8 figures kneeling around him, armored in silver and shadow. They did not speak at first. One by one, their helmets folded back, revealing faces marked with inhuman grace, eyes like molten gold, skin etched with faint geometric lines. The one in front lowered her head. "Protector of the Starborn," she said, her voice like a hymn, "you live." Darius pushed himself upright, wincing. "Who the hell are you?" "We are the Virian Blades," she answered. "You bear their marks. You are the chosen protector." The words meant nothing, yet every syllable rang true deep in his bones. He remembered the battlefield, the child, the blades. He remembered dying. "The girl," he rasped. "Where is she?" The doors opened without sound. She entered, the alien child, no longer frail, no longer trembling. Her eyes burned brighter, and the glow that had nearly killed him pulsed gently now, contained. She smiled as if seeing an old friend. When she touched his hand, images flooded his mind, a vast empire of light stretching across galaxies, worlds bowed to one throne, then fire, betrayal, silence. He saw her birth, forged in a laboratory of dying stars, created to preserve a civilization already doomed. He saw her hunted by those who feared her power. The visions slowed. Her thoughts brushed his like wind through leaves. You chose to die for me. The blades saw your heart. They woke because of you. He staggered back. I didn't choose anything. He stopped. He had. Without orders, without logic. Just instinct. The leader of the blades stepped forward again. You are aboard the Eclipsera, last ark of the Virian Dominion. For 10,000 cycles we slept, awaiting the one who would bear the 8 marks of light. The child is starborn, the living key to our resurrection. Only your sacrifice could bind her fate to ours. Darius shook his head. I'm just a soldier. I didn't sign up for this myth. The myth signed up for you, she said simply. He stood, weak but burning with disbelief. Outside the transparent walls he saw the truth. A dying sun, its light bending around an ancient ship the size of a city, engines the color of ghosts. Why me? He asked. The child's voice echoed softly in his mind. Because you gave without wanting. Because no one else would. Something inside him twisted, part grief, part wonder. Humanity, in all its stubbornness, had carried him farther than any god's plan. He looked down at the glowing scars, the faint hum that matched the ship's pulse. So these marks? Each blade that struck you left part of itself within you, Lysera said. 8 lights, 8 souls. The blades are yours now. Your will commands them. He almost laughed. I can't even command a coffee machine without breaking it. Then we shall learn together. Silence stretched. The child looked at him, small again, innocent and infinite all at once. Will you stay? She asked. He exhaled slowly. Until I understand why I'm here. Her hand found his. The light between their palms pulsed once, sinking heartbeats. For the first time, Darius realized he wasn't dreaming. He was chosen, not by destiny, but by compassion that refused to die. Somewhere, beyond the glass sky, a galaxy waited for its savior. He had no crown, no faith, no plan, just a soldier's stubborn will and 8 scars that glowed like stars. The days that followed felt like living inside a dream made of steel and starlight. Darius trained with the Virian blades, 8 silent warriors who moved like water and struck like lightning. They called him commander, though he still saw himself as the grunt who took a knife for a child. Their blades sang in perfect rhythm, each movement shaped by centuries of discipline. Darius broke that rhythm. He taught them chaos, how to improvise, how to think like humans. Don't fight perfect, he told them, voice rough. Fight to win. At first they resisted. Their culture worshipped precision, ritual, predictability. But one by one they began to adapt. They started to smile during combat drills, to faint when logic demanded a strike. They began to laugh. Humanity was spreading, not through blood, but through defiance. Then came the message. A transmission, broadcast across the void. The Galactic Council had declared them renegades. A human had awakened forbidden power. The Eclipsera was marked for destruction. Darius watched the holographic decree flicker over the chamber wall. Typical, he muttered. Save one kid, start a galactic war. Lysera stood beside him, armor gleaming faintly. They fear what they do not control, she said. They fear you. Then they are smarter than I thought. The child approached, quiet as starlight. She looked older again, her features sharper, voice more certain. They will come, she said. They will burn this ship to ash if we do nothing. Darius turned to her. Then we do something. She hesitated, gazed distant. You don't understand what I am. They don't want me dead, they want me silenced. Her confession unfolded in his mind like a wound reopening. She was not just the heir of an empire, she was its last weapon. The Starborn could channel the energy of suns, collapse entire fleets, bend time itself. Her creators had feared her empathy, the single flaw that made her too dangerous to use. "I was meant to end worlds," she whispered. "But when you shielded me, I felt pain that wasn't mine. I felt human." Darius stared at her, every scar on his chest pulsing faintly in response. "You think being human is a curse?" he asked. "I think it's a miracle," she said. "One I don't deserve." He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Miracles aren't earned. They're lived." The blades gathered, silent witnesses to the birth of rebellion. Darius turned to them. "You were forged for obedience. Forget that. The Council wants us gone because we threaten their order. They want to erase the idea that something worth saving might come from below." Lysra bowed her head. "What would you have us do, Commander?" He smiled faintly. "We remind them what humanity looks like." A hum filled the air as engines long dormant came alive. The Eclipsera stirred, ancient systems waking like gods from sleep. Stars tilted in the viewport as the ship set course toward the Council's core worlds. Darius stood at the bridge, hands clasped behind his back, voice calm but fierce. "They think we're myths. Let's give them a story they'll never forget." The blades saluted, blades flaring with blue light. The child stood beside him, small yet radiant, her presence steadying him like gravity itself. Outside, fleets moved against them, vast armadas forming walls of light. "We're outnumbered 1,000 to 1, Lysra murmured. Darius grinned. "Good. Wouldn't want it to be easy." As the stars stretched into streaks, he felt it, the hum of the 8 blades within him sinking to his heartbeat, the pulse of the ship answering back. He was no longer just a man. He was the bridge between flesh and light, between hope and extinction. For the first time, the galaxy trembled, not from fear of the Starborn child, but from the fire of one human who refused to kneel. The void burned with the color of war. The Eclipsera moved through the enemy lines like a blade through smoke, its shields shimmering with the same light that glowed beneath Darius's skin. The Galactic Council's fleet filled every horizon, thousands of ships, each armed to erase a myth. Darius stood at the center of it all, calm as the silence before a storm. Around him, the blades awaited his command, their weapons burning with the energy of his scars. The child stood beside him, her eyes wide but steady. "They won't stop," she said. He nodded. "Neither will we." The first barrage hit like thunder. The Eclipsera shuddered, hull screaming as energy washed across its shields. Darius gave the order to return fire. The blades moved in perfect unison, channeling their power through the ship's ancient weapon cores. Beams of white light tore through the enemy formation, carving open space itself. But the Council's fleet was endless. For every ship they destroyed, 10 more took its place. Lysra's voice cut through the chaos. "They are targeting the child. They know what she is." Darius gritted his teeth. "Then they'll have to go through me again." A massive shadow loomed on the sensors, the Council's flagship, a vessel the size of a moon. Its main cannon began to charge, bright enough to turn the dark into day. The blades prepared to intercept, but Darius raised a hand. "No," he said quietly. "This one's mine." He stepped into the control nexus, the place where the ship's mind met his. The 8 scars across his chest flared, connecting him to the Eclipsera's systems. He felt the heartbeat of the ship, the pulse of the blades, the fear of the child. Everything became one rhythm. "You saved me once," he murmured to her. "Now let me save you." The flagship fired. A Suncore weapon, raw, burning energy meant to end civilizations. Darius threw himself into the blast, not in flesh but in will. The 8 lights within him ignited, each one expanding into a pillar of radiance that wrapped around the ship. His scream became thunder. The energy collided with his body, tearing him apart and remaking him in the same instant. The blades cried out, their own power rising in resonance. For a moment, all of them were connected, human and alien, warrior and child, bound by one act of defiance. The light reached the child. She ran forward, tears glowing like stars. "You gave me life," she whispered. Let me give you forever. Her hands touched his chest, and time itself bent. The blast reversed, folding inward, collapsing the weapon and the fleet that fired it. When the light faded, only silence remained. The Eclipser drifted in the wreckage of 1,000 burning ships. The blades fell to one knee. Lysra looked toward the Nexus, but Darius was gone, no body, no trace. Only a faint shimmer where he had stood, the air still warm. The child stood alone, eyes closed, her voice breaking through the quiet. He isn't gone, she said softly. He's become what he always was, the light that saves. Years passed. The galaxy rebuilt itself not through conquest but through unity. The starborn child grew into a ruler who carried peace instead of war. The blades remained by her side, bearing the symbol he left behind, 8 stars encircling a single tear. In every corner of space, the story spread, a human who took 8 blades for an alien child and rose again to defy the impossible. They said he ascended beyond matter, that his spirit guided ships through the dark. Others whispered that when a soldier risked everything for another, a faint glow appeared over their heart, shaped like the scars of a man who refused to die. Whatever the truth, his name endured. Darius Vale, the savior of the Starborn. The man who proved that humanity's greatest weapon was not strength, not technology, but the will to protect what could never protect itself.